The Pioneer SVM-1000 is a deep piece of kit for the AV revolutionary, but there's a lot more going on in this machine than is evident on the surface. You'll find these special features by going into the setup menus. Let's have a look and get deep into the SVM. You'll start your journey deep into the machine by holding down the utility button. The utility button takes you into the utility setup screen. Here you'll find three different submenus. One is all about MIDI, one is about setting up your video monitors, and the other is to set up your keyboard language. The keyboard language is the most obvious. Here you can choose between French, German, Dutch, Italian, or a number of different languages for your interface on your SVM-1000. In Video Monitor, we have four different choices of video monitors. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with the 11-inch screen that you're dealing with, but rather the monitor output at the back of the SVM-1000. You attach a separate monitor to the SVM, and you can set it up in four different ways. One way is just to set it up normally, so that you see your master output. You can also see the master output in a mirror image. That's for dealing with projectors, whether you're back projecting or front projecting. On top of that, you can see your master output plus previews from each of the four video channels. This is incredibly useful if you've got a small amount of space or you don't want to be surrounded by 5 different monitors. And then, of course, you can monitor your channel inputs. This lets you see the channel input on 1, 2, 3, and 4. The third menu in your utility setup is all about MIDI. Now, every knob and button on this machine outputs MIDI, and this is incredibly useful for syncing up beats to visuals, for using it as a control surface in order to control a computer, whether you're using something like Ableton Live or you're using a straight up VJ program. You can turn your MIDI on and off here, which is a really useful feature. That way you don't have to disconnect everything from your computers if you want to stop the MIDI output. On top of that, we've got timing clock sync. This is all about MIDI sync, and you can start it and stop it. And in addition to that, you can control the way that your buttons work with MIDI. You can send a single signal as a toggle, that's toggle on, toggle off, or you can send trigger signals from MIDI. You also have the option of choosing from any of your 16 MIDI channels for your output. To get out of this, just press exit. To get even deeper in the machine, hold down the master monitor button and turn on power at the back. This is going to take you into a utility setup that lets you go into the depths of the machine. If you're in the club and you're not the tech and you ever want to get booked again, don't do this. Just don't. Here is the hardware setup, and there are 6 different submenus here. One for microphone, master output, monitor output, system, LCD, and your touch panel. And if everything gets messed up, you can always go back to factory preset. You can set your microphone attenuation for talkovers, for output to booth monitor, and for talkover level here. Save it in the upper left-hand corner. Your master output lets you set the master output of the video, what's going out into the club. The same thing is available to you for monitor output. In system, you have the opportunity to set things up for NTSC versus PAL and your digital output maximum level. The LCD screen, you can control the brightness here, and again you have a save button. And then finally, you can calibrate the touch panel. And then you just shut it off. Once you've finished setting up and you've saved all your settings, all you have to do is shut the machine off, turn it back on again, and you're in business. I feel like we've only touched on the creative possibilities of the Pioneer SVM-1000, but now that you've had a good look at it, it's time to get your hands on one and start woodshedding. There's nothing in Clubland that has the potential to change the future like the SVM-1000, and the future has just been televised. For Pioneer, I'm Charles Kriel. See ya.